It's a holiday week here in the US, so better late than never. It's time for State of the Table. Alright, so this week we are going to try to do it as quick as we can here, keep it around that 5-minute mark, and there's not a lot different on the table this week because I'm mostly hanging out on these same couple of projects that I've been working on, but I have done a little bit of change here. You can probably see that, at least I hope you can, that there's some different approach I've taken on this model to get that flesh tone up, and I've done a lot, gone back and redone it with a lot of airbrush. So that will hopefully change out some of that wing tone I was messing with, and I'm hand brushing in some of the other details. But I'm really liking this better than what I had previously, and hopefully that's going to work out. It's hard to focus because there's so much behind it, but that is the way that's looking there. Parasite of Mortrex. Also did some work there on the head. Similarly, to get some smoother transitions going with that. It's really wanting to focus on what's behind it, which is a thing I'm going to talk about here in a second. I also have got my Neurothrope out to look at what I had done as a preliminary paint job. I like some of the elements on this, but I'm going to end up going back and switching it to sort of match this Parasite, I think, later a little bit more, because they're going to come out looking a little bit different, actually. And so I'm liking some of the things I did on this, and then there's some other things I'm wanting to incorporate from the Parasite here. And one of the biggest deals I got going on here with that is I have got my artist oils out. So I'm going to be spraying the Parasite in a gloss varnish, and then I'm going to hit it with some artist oil. And I went and picked up this magenta specifically for this project, and I'm gonna I've got my red, green, blue here, although this is a Viridian green, which is not exactly your standard. It's a little bit blue in the hue there. This phthalo is pretty strong. I've also got some cadmium yellow, cadmium red, Payne's gray, which I may end up using a little bit of. Definitely may end up using that on my Blood Angels project. Of course, these are your standard burnt umber and black, and then I've got some red ochre for rusts. But basically, just going to create some oil shade in there and try to get some of the details in there nice and lightly. I can always remove it with spirits and stuff like that if it's not working out too well. But speaking of that, and the gloss coat that I was going to put on there, I was going to do that with my airbrushes here, and as I was getting ready to film this, my chair caught my hose assembly, which was still attached to my Extreme Patriot, and it grabbed it and it yanked it down and pulled the whole thing onto the floor. And so this happened to my Extreme Patriot needle. I don't even know if you can see that. It is hard to focus. But yeah, it's seen better days. And another thing that's even worse about that is it wasn't just the needle. It damaged that nozzle right there as well. Those are, for anybody that doesn't know, those are actually pretty delicate parts as well. So I'm gonna have to put in a pretty quick order to Badger if I want to use this Extreme Patriot. And the Extreme Patriot's actually what I've been using to do a little bit more of my detail work. Here's another interesting thing. So I have this Harbor Freight airbrush rest, which is normally quite good. It's just not anchored to the table, and I wasn't paying attention. And my regular Patriot 105 was also on that cradle, and it's perfect. I've checked it over again and again, and no issues. No bends, no dings. I had just got through doing a deep clean on this. The Extreme Patriot, well, there's a little bit in there, but the Extreme Patriot needed a lot more work. But yeah, this one came out just fine, so at least I can do my gloss coat. That's the good news. And that's that. Not a lot of extra work done on the Blood Angels right now. I'm just not focused on them at the moment, as opposed to being on the the Parasite, and also it would be in the holiday. Just wasn't a lot of time. And so the last thing I'm going to show you guys is I went ahead and finally pulled the trigger on this deal right here, which is basically a stand for your model parts when you use sticks and things like that for it. And it's about $5 from like a Hobby Lobby. And honestly, like, I wasn't gonna do that before because I do have this other type that's homemade. It's hard to see. It's right there, out of cardboard. A lot of people make these. You can, in fact, if you're wanting to do that, it's honestly pretty easy. Just cut up some cardboard, use the holes, and I'm still using this one for a long-term, technically long-term storage on some other parts. And you know, it was just, I had it full, so I was like, you know what, I'm tired of kind of like waiting to get that done when I'm not working on it. I'll give this a try. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm liking it. I'm kind of originally turned my nose up at buying this thing, but I mean, for $5, it's no hassle, and it's bigger than the other one I made, and it's working quite well. So what can I say? I'm digging that. So all things good there. And I guess that's pretty much it for the hobby table update this week. There's plenty more to talk about, as always, coming up in the next weeks and months. So stay tuned. Check out the social medias, Instagram and Twitter, and like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. And that's it. I'll catch you guys next time. See y'all.